So I will start the recording. Oh, you need to give me a permission. Can you make me a co-host, please?
Okay. Done?
Yeah. Okay, great. Hello, namaste everyone. It gives me great pleasure to introduce or welcome Brahmachari Suryaji from Arshavidya Gurukulam. Before I go deep into his background, how many of you couldn't resist your opening your eyes during the meditation? Okay. So we think we are very busy. Yes, we are running all the time. Don't have time to stop for a second and think about why are we running. Arshavidya Gurukulam, Swami Dayananda Saraswati, who's the founder of that, the main purpose of creating the ashram in more Vedic heritage, Gurukulam, that's what's called Gurukulam, in Salisbury, Pennsylvania. Primary reason is to unfold the connection between self, to understand self-knowledge, and then connect to the world, and also connect to Bhagavan. I was telling someone earlier, we moved from Pennsylvania almost a year ago, and we've been talking to the temple members and board, and they wanted to kind of bring in some kind of Vedic heritage or Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam here on a regular basis so that we all can stop for a second and think about why we need to do this. With that background, I'm going to talk about Brahmachari Surya. He studied Vedanta and Sanskrit under Puja Swami Dayananda Saraswati over a decade in Coimbatore, India. Brahmachariji then studied with and served Brahmalin Swami Bodhananda Ji until 2020. With Swami P, we used to call him very fondly, though he attained moksha, but he is always in our hearts. He assisted him, conducted several outreach programs, Gita study groups, satsangs, youth sessions, and temple talks all over United States and back in India as well. Currently, he also takes Bhagavad Gita classes and Srimad Bhagavatam and Vishnu Sahasranama on a regular basis in Arshavidya Gurukulam. Also, during the retreat, Brahmachariji teaches Sanskrit, gives youth sessions in the form of Purna Vidya regarding Vedic heritage and also for adults. He's also served as a priest in a couple of temples in the US in the past, and he is well versed in pujas and rituals. And he also has a background, MS in engineering. Actually, he studied in South Carolina. He gives a lot of lectures in various universities in US and in India as well. And today, when I reached out to him a couple of weeks ago, he was gracious enough to come here and make a stop here because last week he's visiting South Carolina, Charlotte, a few temples, Virginia, and said, can you please make us a stop here in Triad Temple so that we can listen to your lecture? He said, graciously accepted that and said, yeah, I can talk about Srimad Bhagavatam, especially Kapila Avatara, one of the great avatars of Mahavishnu. With that, I don't want to take much of time. To further ado, I will turn it over to Suryaji, and please go ahead, Suryaji.
Thank you. Soumya and Saravanan and these two children also, they were part of like a family of the ashram, and we are very proud of them. And I'm glad they moved here, and they are immediately associated with this temple here. that shows the devotion, samskar, and everything. And I'm sure they're going to be, enjoying this place and also contributing to this temple community in terms of, bringing knowledge and everything, whatever they can. Some of you might have heard Ronak Singh. Eva is also, she comes, they all came to my classes when they were very young. And I know them very, very well. I always have some very good memories of all of them in my classes. So here we are, we'll start again with some prayers. I'm starting around 6 o'clock and we'll go maximum 7 o'clock or so. And then we'll have some prasad also. Shri Guru Bhyonama Om Shuk. Everybody can start. Shuklam Bharadharam. Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashi Varnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vigna. That one. Saraswati Namandana. No problem. Good. Vishnu, very nice. Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasma. Very nice. We know someone who knows like Dakshinamurti Shloka also. Stotram also. Very nice. You can start saying Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Excellent. I chose Kapila Avatara because it is not a popular avatara, but it's one of the Jnana avatara of Bhagavan Vasudeva Narayana. This avatara might have come in other Purana also. So I'm going to talk about this avatara from Bhagavata Mahapurana. So we know for Ramchandra Bhagavan there is Ramayana. Is there a Krishnayana? So which is the Purana which talks about Krishna Bhagavan? Bhagavata Purana. Surprisingly, Bhagavata Purana, Krishna Avatara comes only in the Dasama Skanda. Navama Skanda born and then Dasama Skanda onwards. Which is there are 12 Skandas. Skandas is huge sections, and within that Skanda, in English translates to cantos, there are Adhyayas, chapters. And in that huge sections, first 8 huge sections, there is no mention of Bhagavan, Krishna Bhagavan, but other avatars are coming. Only from the later, Krishna Bhagavan's birth, Janam, Leela, all his glories are coming from the 9th Skanda onwards. So Bhagavatam, what is it covers? Because out of the 12 Skandas, Krishna Bhagavan is coming towards that part of the Bhagavata Purana. The rest of the Bhagavata Purana is regarding Bhagavatas. Other avatars of Bhagavan, of course, but also the devotees of Bhagavan. Because when you take Narasimha Avatara, when you take Narasimha Avatara, can you think of Narasimha Avatara without Prahlada? Prahlada is a devotee. So this Purana is about how the devotees of Narayana, Sri Vishnu, Sri Mahavishnu, how they brought Bhagavan into their life in all those difficult situations, and how they came out of all those difficulties gloriously with the help of Bhagavan. So Bhagavatanam idam. This is idam means this Purana is about the Bhagavatas of Bhagavan. And Bhagavata Purana is called a Vang Maya Murti. Vang means speech. Someone asked Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Bhagavan, you are going to go Antardhana. Bhagavan, you are going to be leaving us. Who? Krishna Bhagavan left all of us. Antardhana. Went back. Where can we experience you from now on? I am in the form of the words in the Bhagavata Purana. I've taken the avatar of words. Bhagavan can take any avatar. He took the avatar of Sari when he wanted to save Draupadi, right? That is an inert avatar, Sthula avatar. He can take Sukshma avatar. In avatars, Bhagavan can stay for 14,000 years, like Ramchandra Bhagavan. He can live for 125 years, like Krishna Bhagavan. Or he can just come and finish his job and disappear, like Narsimha avatar. Bhagavan doesn't care about his lifespan. Just finish the job and get out. He comes. Bhagavan describes in the Bhagavatam, and he's saying his own body, Bhagavan is saying, he says it is useful like that of a thorn. What is, if suppose you have a prick in your foot, thorn has gone, what you would do? You go to your mom, she will take another thorn, safety pin in India. And she will remove this thorn. Because it's safety pin, she will keep it safely. Otherwise, after you remove the thorn, you should throw both thorns. Bhagavan is saying in Bhagavatam, my Sharira is like that. It is for removing the thorns called Asuras. Each and every avatara that happens. For the sake of protecting the Dharma, more importantly, Bhagavatas, devotees. And once I've done that job, Bhagavan says, just like you throw both the thorns, Asura is gone, my body is also gone. I don't care. That is Bhagavan. So, this is the job which Bhagavan does. Because devotees matters. Bhagavan, wherever devotees call him, Bhagavan can appear there. Bhagavan is everywhere, is one way. Even more value, added value is what? Bhagavan can be anywhere. Right? That is our Hindu Dharma, where Bhagavan comes down as avatara. How much compassion should be there? That Bhagavan coming down as avatara. And how much sense of responsibility the rishis had that they should preserve all the works of these avatars into these beautiful texts like Bhagavata Purana, which we are able to enjoy even today. Not an easy job. Many religions, they have one book, two books. We have several books, library. Right? That's all because of the great efforts of our ancestors. We should be proud of having so many devatas like we have here. Devatas. We should be proud of having so many, like in America, they are very proud of the medical system, or in the Europe also. Why? Because they have so many specialities. Right? Our hospital has got so many specialities, they say. Super speciality, multi-speciality and all that. Likewise, when it comes to appreciating Bhagavan's job and all those in all those different ways, we have captured that those are the devatas. This is called Devata Vijnanam. So we are advanced when it comes to religion. We are so advanced that we have all these different devatas, like those specialities, and so many mantras which can invoke that particular speciality. This is how it works. This Devata Vijnanam. So in this Kapila Avatara is one such avatara. There are two types of avatara of Bhagavan. One is the avatar of Bhagavan Shakti, which is more popular. Narasimha. Vamana also, it was a kind of Bhagavan's Shakti only. He could take the huge form and all that. Krishna Avatara is a combination of Bhagavan's Shakti and Buddhi, right? So, in Kapila Avatara, it is Bhagavan's Avatara, Bhagavan's Jnana Avatara. He came for the sake of giving out the philosophy for life. That was his purpose. Now, if I talk about philosophy here, that will take forever. The Bhagavatam, from 3rd canto, 20th chapter onwards, I am now doing the 25th chapter for my group. We're going to be listening to this recording later, 8 to 9, when we post this after that. Thanks to our Deepak. He had a good idea of live streaming. Right now, the live streaming is going on. So that can be, the link will be there, and they can just play the link only, which makes the job much easier. Technology. So this Kapilavatara chapters from 20 onwards until 24, 30, which means I'm talking at 10 chapters times 50, 500, 700 shlokas only for Kapilavatara. Kapila is the color of the skin. Kapila, golden yellow. That Rishi was like that. Kapilavatara, Kapilavarnam. I will talk about the avatara's, janama, the birth, and how did it all happen. What was the need for Kapilavatara? That I'll speak today, because that involves some stories. And we can bring out some life messages through those stories until the time I could speak. After that, we'll again definitely continue. It's just a Ganeshaya Namaha in this mandir. Starting. Kapilavatara, as first of all, we should know the creation. There is a story of this Bhagavata Purana, is the story of the entire creation. Brahmaji, who is the Yonijaha, who is free from any yoni, he was born out of lotus from Bhagavan's navel, right? This is Akasha Pushpa. Akasha Pushpa is what? The flower which blooms in the sky. Have you seen any flower bloom in the sky? Which means what? It is all Bhagavan's miracle. When Bhagavan decides, he can make the impossible possible. So that is how this Brahmaji came into the beginning, in the being. And the Brahmaji, when he wanted to create, very interestingly, if you read all the stories, it was a process of iteration. He first created Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, Sanat Kumar, 4 Brahma's Manasaputra. They walked away from Brahmaji, saying that we don't have anything to do with the creation. They came into this forest area of Triad and started meditating, and then went to Dakshinamurti. All that they did, but they don't want to do anything with creation. Then after a sequence of other iterations, Brahma created a Manu and Shatarupi. Manu is that Manu means Mananat Manu. Brahma's mind is Manu. And when we apply our mind, we become human. That human, the man, woman, whom, man is from Manu. So whether everyone agrees or not, they're all Manu's apatyam only. If they call themselves human. Right? That is why Pujya Swamiji, Dayananda Saraswati said, everyone is a Hindu until they say they are not. Okay? Because they're saying they're human. And Manu I'm from Manu, they're saying. So now this Manu and Shatarupi is Manu's concept Brahmaji created. Manu is for the mind and Shatarupi is for Shraddha. When you have that Shraddha, which is a trust, and when you dedicate some time, your mental effort, then you can accomplish everything. So through Manu and Satarupi, Brahmaji accomplished the creation. But how it started? Manu had 3 children, 2 sons and 1 daughter. The sons were Uttanapada and Priyavrata. Uttanapada is the father of Dhruva. Now you can imagine when you go in that track, you will hear the Dhruva Charitra. That is a part of Bhagavatam. And then Priyavrata is another great ruler. That is another track. We are taking the track of Devahuti. Manu's daughter Devahuti. Her name is Devahuti because she can call the Devatas in her. She can make the presence of Devatas in herself. Devahuti. Devahuti is a daughter of Manu and Shatarupi. And Brahmaji also created the Prajapatis for the sake of the creation. One of the Prajapati is Kardama Maharishi. And Brahmaji's Ajna for Kardamji is, may you propitiate the creation. And when Kardamji heard that he has to start a family and do the creation, he was not right away looking for the girl. He went into tapascharya, severe penance he did. Look, brahmacharya ashrama is for tapascharya. You have that virya and strength and power for the sake of grihastha ashrama. Right? That is how this whole thing started. And I'm just Shabda Brahma. Then during his tapascharya, our Dhamma Maharishi, he had the vision of Bhagavan, Narayana himself. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padmadari, with all these 4. And Vanamali. The mala is so fragrant. Bhagavan's mala, humming bees come on his mala. So you can imagine. So that was Bhagavan's mala. So when you want Bhagavan, Bhagavan will appear. So in the stories of whole Bhagavatam, Bhagavan has appeared pratyaksha. Like I see you and you see me. This is pratyaksha. The Bhagavatam, it has happened. Bhagavan has appeared pratyaksha for all his devotees. So because in Bhagavatam it is said so, we cannot say Bhagavan won't appear. It is all your mind. The stories were meant to tell that they don't mean what. It's not history. You have to apply it on your mind. All that we cannot reason out like that. They happened like that. It is saying that Bhagavan, you cannot see Bhagavan. It's like saying, like the fox saying that these grapes are sour just because it cannot reach those grapes. And it is all there in those commentaries of Bhagavatam. So Kardama, the word Kardama means Kichad. Kichad is what? Mud. Okay. Why is? Because from the mud there's going to be a lotus bloom. Lotus blooms in not a running stream. Running stream, the water is more clear. In a stagnant pond, they give this example. In a stagnant pond, water is stagnant and it's not good. But lotus only blooms in a stagnant pond. Lilies bloom in a stagnant pond. So Kardama was meditating, Bhagavan appeared, and look at Bhagavan. Bhagavan was looking at Kardama, and Kardama was praying for entering Grahastha-ashrama to Bhagavan. Bhagavan was smiling. You know why? He said, I want to enter into Grahastha-ashrama and do puja, aradhana to Bhagavan. Bhagavan was smiling. This person, now he is able to do aradhana, puja and all very peacefully. So he wants to take up the challenge of entering Grahastha-ashrama and then trying to do puja and all that. Okay, tathastu, make it happen like that. Right? Bhagavan knew the intention of his mind, and Bhagavan also knew what is in store for the future through Kardama. So he would make it happen. So then Bhagavan said, you continue wherever you are, and Manu will come to you, and he will offer your daughter to you, so that whatever you desire will all happen. And Manu's daughter is Vayashila Gunanvita. Vayaha Shila Gunanvita. She is in match for you with respect to your age. Sheila is in all the guna, all the qualities, all the skills and all that. Guna is all the qualities. Age with all the skills she needs for the running the family, and also all the good qualities. And in addition to that, Bhagavan also says she is capable of, giving you children also. All this is all in those days. Parents find all that. We think that it's all parents are talking and they're deciding, and it is like a matchmaking and all that. But parents make sure that on the other side of the family, before they're getting married, that how is the brother, and if the brother had children, how they are, in a way finding out if this family has any other problem getting children and all that. They find out very clearly. And hello, beta, please come. Yeah, please. So these days, what we are saying, it is not that way. We cannot do it that way. But what happens when in a doctor, a pediatrician? I know a pediatrician, and that person, when that person was trying to do a diagnosis of a boy who was a little autistic. First question she asked was family history on both sides. On the both sides, and then finding out everything about that girl's brother and this boy's grandmother's side aunt and all that. So what I'm trying to, when the doctors do, we are agreeing, but when the parents do, we are saying they're too much and all that. So that is how Bhagavan is guaranteeing this woman is going to be a match for you in all respects. And with that blessing, Bhagavan disappears, and Bhagavan also says, after you complete your grahastha ashrama, you will come to me. That guarantee also Bhagavan is giving to Kardama Rishi, and Kardama Rishi is continuing. And Bhagavan says, at the end, I will be born as your son. Who says? Bhagavan is saying to who? Kardama Rishi. He is also guaranteeing that. So, then Bhagavan leaves because this was his desire. They say, hey, Bhagavan eyes had a few drops of tears. Bhagavan also cries few drops out of compassion. Kripa. Bhagavan cries, it is not out of distress. It is out of compassion. So, Bhagavan is compassionate because he's saying this, he could have asked for me, but he wanted to have because of his father's agnya. See, he followed his father's agnya. Although Bhagavan appeared, he still stuck to his father's orders. I will do this. So Bhagavan had that small tree for that reason. That is why this place where Bhagavan gave this boon to Kardama, it is in Gujarat. They call it Siddhapur. Siddhapur, and Bindusar also it's another name. There is a place where you will see that Devahuti is going to be there, Kardama is going to be born. For the Matru Shraddha, Gaya is for Pitra Shraddha. For Matru Shraddha, they have told in the Shastra, Siddhapur is a place in Gujarat. So this is a place where this scene is happening in the Bhagavatam, and then Manu comes. He comes in a Vimana. Manu is coming in a Vimana. Vimana is flight. With who? His wife Shatarupi and his daughter Devahuti. And once he comes, Manu comes. He's a Samrat. He's a king. He's a Jagat Samrat. He's a ruler for the entire Prithvi, entire world. So as soon as he comes, our Kardamaji gets up and he's doing honors to Manuji. And he's praising Manuji. You are a Kshatriya, and your Kshatriya dharma is, you have taken up Kshatriya dharma to protect all of us. And it is I'm very happy you have visited me, and he's doing all the honors to him. And in turn, this Manu is also praising Kardamji. Kardamji, आप बड़ा ब्राह्मण है. Tapasya, Vidya, Veda Murti hai. You are the Veda and Tapasya and Vidya Murti hai. And he says, we Kshatriya, who? Manu is saying, we Kshatriya, our duty is to protect people like you. You are the Shiras. It is if the body has a head and a hand. Kardam, Manu is saying, you are like the head and we are like the hands. So if something comes to the hand protects the head, right? So that is what we are doing. So we are not doing anything great. How humble he is. Who? Manu, when he is also reciprocating that praise him. And then he is introducing his daughter and saying to Kardamji, please please consider this proposal. My daughter. Why? Because even if you are someone who is a jnani, who has gone above samsara, gone above, getting into family and all that, even those people, when they are offered something, they would give it a thought. In your case, you want to have a great family, right? When you want to have a great family, do Bhagavat Aradhana. Take up to all the karma, all the. The Grihastha ashrama is a great ashrama. Why? Because Brahmachari is born in Grihastha ashrama. Grihastha, the family man, also is born in Grihastha ashrama. Then Vanaprastha sannyasi is also born in the Grihastha ashrama only. And all this Brahmacharya onwards, other ashrama, Vanaprastha, means, these people, when they want food, Bhiksha, where they go? Grihastha ashrama only. Like I'm here with Saravana, Soumya and Saravana. All right? So that is how it works. So Dhanyo Grihastha ashrama. So our Kardamji wants to do all that is appropriate in the Grihastha ashrama. So Manu is very happily offering his daughter. And Kardamji is there saying, I will definitely honor this. I'll consider it as an honor to marry your daughter. Again, in Bhagavata Purana, they did not seek any astrological consultation. Okay, so they were most of the Bhagavata weddings are like this. They are the minds meet and they're ready for wedding. That is how it is. In Bhagavata, it is like that. Of course, in other Purana, in other places, we know that there's an astrology. There's an infrastructure called astrology, which you can make use of to make sure that it's all matching and all that. In Bhagavatam, it is like this in this case also. So these people are going to get married. Now, but Kardama has one information he has to give. What is that information he has to give? He has to give the information that Bhagavan has told me that Bhagavan has, that is a very good information, right? And another information he had to give is, after I start the Grihastha ashrama, at some point I will have to take sannyasa ashrama, and Bhagavan has offered that for me, that I should go into. Bhagavan has also sanctioned me that sannyasa ashrama also. Sannyasa ashrama is also there for, that is also is informing, upright is informing all that. No problem. See you. Bye. So sannyasa ashrama is also being offered. I mean, he is also having to say that upright. That being told, he's also saying that, and Manu says that is also, Manu is also knowing all this information. So he said that is perfectly fine. And Kardamji is looking all this time. Then after Kardamji said that, he was closing his eyes because he wants them to think they really want to do that, right? And as they are thinking, Kardamji has closed his eyes, and Devahuti is looking at Kardama with his eyes closed, and she is falling even more in love with him. Okay, according to the story. And because she has heard about Kardama from Narada. Narada is a Deva Rishi. He is a real person who can bring hot news from Devaloka to Manushya Loka. That's Swami Pratik Balan used to say. No, I said hot news. Swamiji would say, Narada brings hot news. Like hot dosa. Like, so Narada would bring that information about Kardama to Devahuti. From that time onwards, Devahuti's mind is always, fixed about Kardama as a match in all respects. Okay, no? What happened was Kardama. That is what. So then he's also opening his eyes and looking at her. They both are agreeing to get married. Then what happened? Then she got married. In a what marriage? There are different types of marriage. Adi Vivaha. Adi Vivaha means proper marriage. Brahmana Vivaha. Because Kardamaji is a Brahmana Kshatriya, but they met and they were all the devatas decided. Brahmaji decided. Bhagavan has decided, right? So then with all the pomp and splendor, they got married. And then she was serving Kardamaji with her full full heart. She was serving with, like Parvati is serving Parameshwara, like Mahalakshmi is serving Narayana, Mahavishnu. Like that, she was very having all that bhava, service bhava, and she is what Patiringita Kovida. She's one of the Ingita Kovida. Kovida means to know in advance. What Ingitam? Telugulo Ingitam antaru kada. Ingitam telsi undi antaru. Sangeetam, Ingitam. They say that, right? Ingitam is to know the Vyavahara. No? People came and the Ingita, they felt, let them also have some prasad. Got up and quickly gave some prasad, right? So likewise, serving even before you think, they didn't. It was a surprise for them, right? It was a bonus for them actually. So this is having that Ingita to when somebody serves also, you see they give the proper even before you. What do you think they do before you think? So she was like that towards Kardama Maharishi. And she was a Rajaputri though. She was a Rajaputri, Manu's Putri. But she had taken up to this lifestyle where Kardamaji is living in a small place, not even a proper house. And she's adjusting there and living. And she stayed like that for a long time. Because he was doing tapasya and vrata and yaga and all that, his focus was only on all those things. But at some point, Kardamji's heart melted for his wife, Devahuti. He said, you have sacrificed so much for me. Now it is my turn. And he's saying, my tapasya, the power of my tapasya, my vrata, I'm giving it to you. He's giving it all the tapasya vrata power to Devahuti. This is how it is. At home also, when the woman cooks food, when you're cooking, there are some himsa which is happening. Why? Because you're boiling the water. Some things will die. Of course, we want them to die, germs and all that. But there's an attached papa. Our Shastra is very clear. For everything, there's some side effect is there. So that is attached, right? So cooking, cleaning also, vacuuming. You just suck all the bugs, spiders and all that with their 8 legs and all that, right? So there is some himsa there. Cooking, cleaning, they say. Jhadu marna, but I'm saying vacuuming. Yeah, right? So even if you're vacuuming the temple as a service, bugs are getting killed, right? So cooking, cleaning, boiling the water, then pounding the rice in those days. And then also, what is the other thing? Atta pisna. Making the atta for the protein, all that. So you can think of all those different ways. But the woman of the house, when she does all that, and when she feeds the family, she's free from all the papa. Okay, you think where the papa goes? Okay, she's free from all the papa. What I'm trying to say is, and husband, of course, he's also working for the family and all that, whatever puja punaskara and all that. So in a way, the women are free from taking up all those other responsibilities when they do this one thing, and then they are free from the papa. So then whatever the good work the husband does, puja punaskara and all that, the phala goes to the woman by default. She doesn't even have to demand for that, or he doesn't even have to transfer that. So that is what has happened in this case also. Kardama is just spelling it out in all this, in all this kind words. He's doing it, the words of love and compassion. Then Kardama, what he says, come, let us go around the world. So when Kardama, this is like the honeymoon for them after all these years. So it is never late for a honeymoon, all right? So, okay. So after all these years, the honeymoon. Now, when we decide to go on this honeymoon and all that, we go for the cheapest deal, the best package, all that. Kardama did not do that. He created a flight out of his yogic power. And that flight had a separate section where they can, walk. And then the flight had, a separate room for, living room, separate bedroom, all that in one flight. Huh? Private jet, but no need to wear seat belt. Okay, he could do that. Everything was all everywhere. And what else he did? That flight can stop anywhere. And in the list of all the Swarga Lokas, Suravana, Nandavana, Pushpabhadra, all these are different places it can stop. Different Swarga. Swarga has got different places. The flight stopped everywhere. They had a very happy life. But before that, what he did, Devahuti was a little shy to get on the flight. Why? Because she had lived so many years with Kardamaji, and she doesn't even have a proper dress. When Ambani calls you for a party, first thing is, what should I wear? Right? That is your first concern. So likewise, Kardamaji understood that. So he transformed Devahuti. All her tiredness of striving so hard for so many years, everything is gone. And then she is relaxed. She's getting that new form and all those beautiful silk clothing and all that. Kardamaji has also transformed. All his beard and all nicely shaven, and is ready for the married life. That is the description there. This Bhagavata Purana. Then they had 9 daughters. How many? 9 daughters. And the Kardamaji said, 9 daughters. Okay, I think my job is done. So he was gently reminding Devahuti of his promise to Bhagavan. Not promise to Bhagavan, but what Bhagavan had asked him to get it, because he is very eager for the sannyasa ashrama. But Devahuti is not very happy with the Kardamji living at that point. She says, you are taking to sannyasa ashrama. And sannyasa ashrama, what they do? They say, Abhayam Sarva Praninam. Like that they say. Abhayam means what? From now onwards, no pranis have to fear me. Sannyasi is, I am not going to compete with anybody in this world. Not even with an insect. My job is to give protection to everybody. At least I should be someone who is not putting any fear in anybody. That is the vow sannyasis take. That is how we should also be. We don't have to take sannyasa, but we should have that vow. I should not create any fear in anybody's heart. Swami Pratik Bodanji says, some people, wherever they go, they bring happiness. Some people, whenever they go, they bring happiness. And so, whenever they go, they bring happiness. Wherever they go, they bring happiness is good. Some people, we are waiting for them to go, then the tiger is gone, lion is gone, or something like that. So, we have to be somebody who can bring at least no fear in anybody's heart when we enter. Right? Father is entering means they should not feel lion is coming, tiger is coming, and all that. And that is how they should be able to relate. In the family, there should be more relationship, more than having to deal with each other. Dealing is different from relating. In dealing, what happens? They keep on dealing and they keep on, there's no communication. There's communication is there, but the gap also remains. So communication gap is what? This is my phrase. Communication gap is not that you don't have communication. In spite of communication, there's a gap. And that is the communication. Right? So here, what I was about to say is 9 daughters and all that. She's a abhayam. This sannyasi, I'm coming back to the topic. Sannyasi say abhayam, sarva bhutanam. And where is the abhayam for me? Devavati is asking. You're leaving me with 9 daughters. Okay? You're not removing the fear from my heart. She's putting it in a very, I'm talking in an American way, but that is not the way she's asking. She's very gently asking him like that. So look at, now you can also appreciate Gautamji is not wanting to take sannyasa after the end of his life and all that, when he's good for nothing. See, what happened in our ashram, Arsha Vidya Gurukulam, Arsha Vidya Gurukulam is a place where you can learn Shastra, Vedanta. We have weekend programs. We have 90, 100 people can stay there. We have a Dakshinamurti temple. And then we have all the classes also. Since Swami, Puja Swamiji came, our founder, he came up with the idea. I will have courses where people who are retired here, they can, if they have free time, they can get some benefit. So he started some course. Very to his big surprise, utter surprise, he found whoever is joining the course are not retired people from here, parents of the sons and daughters who are working here. The sons and daughters are sending them, they don't even know anything about Asha, just to go and study and come back for a few months and all that. So that was not the idea. So what I'm trying to say is, this ashrama, Kardamaji wants to take when he's all good, because he has to go to the forest, meditate, and all that. How can you do that when you're very difficult, when you're old and all that, right? So Kardam, but then he understood Devahuti's concern. He decided, I'll stay back, and he's marrying all of them. I have a list of all those people who they are getting married to. Where is that list? It's here. All right. So, and Kardamji is also saying, one of the reasons why I decided is because I know you'll have a child, a son, and he's going to be Bhagavan, even without me. When Bhagavan gives a word, it's going to happen. So, how can Bhagavan? I'll tell that when we come to the Kardama Avatara. But here he's saying that that is the reason I decided. But now I'll stay back, and he's marrying. One of his son is one of his daughters, Kala, getting married to Marichi. Then Anasuya getting married to Ati Rishi. Then Shraddha getting married to Shraddha is getting married to another Rishi. Then Havirbu, Pulasya. So Shraddha is getting married to Pulastya. Then Havirbu is getting married to Pulaha. Then another daughter Gati getting married. Another Rishi. Then Kriya is another name of his daughter, getting married to Kratu. Then Khyati, one of his daughters, she is getting married to Bhrigu. Then Arundhati. See, Arundhati is whose daughter? Kardama's daughter, getting married to Vasishta. All these are very great couple. Atri Anusuya Bhyam Namaha. Arundhati Vasishta Bhyam Namaha. Like that, you can keep saying, and it will only bring more Mangala Kalyana to the temple, to your family, and everybody. Invoking all this. Namayanti Nala Bhyam Namaha, like that. So here, then afterwards, when after getting married, all of them like that, then he's so, but then Bhagavan is also getting born in the family. After all this married and everything, Bhagavan is also getting born. That Bhagavan getting born is in this way. Bhagavan is in everyone's heart. That is why we call, only in our religion, we saw Ishvara is Antaryami also. Narayana is Antaryami. Any other religion, they put Bhagavan out, up and above. Only religion which says Bhagavan is within you is our Hindu religion. So, indweller. They say. So, this Bhagavan who is inside, what is so difficult for him to be born? Right? Antriyami Bhagavan. And Bhagavan is in everybody. Like the fire is in all wood. Right? If you don't believe, go to California. It takes some dry weather and two twigs slightly keep on rubbing against each other. That's it. So fire is there in all the wood. Like this Bhagavan is there in everybody. Like that fire. Only it's a matter of Bhagavan's power to get manifest by that. So that is why we say Bhagavan's birth is like that always. Although it is because of Kardama and Devahuti. Krishna Bhagavan, how was he born? He was also born like that. Although they were in the prison and all that. It was all Ramchandra Bhagavan. He was born out of pudding, sweet pudding, paisam, right? That is what Bhagavan's power. Yajna, Sishta, here. So that is how Bhagavan was also born here. And this Bhagavan who was taken the avatara for Devahuti and Kardama is called Kapila Maharshi. Boliye Kapila Maharshi ki jai. Gurunath Maharaj ki jai. This Kapila Maharshi is born, and the first thing Kardamji does as soon as Maharshi was born was in a very private place. He is meeting Bhagavan. See, that is how we should do. You want to, if you don't ask advice in front of everybody to Mahatmas, they will give some advice which is common to everybody. So it may not apply to you. So you should always take some. Don't put them in Dharma Sankat. Ask them in the Sabha, what should I do and all that. Suppose if you are doing some experiment with rats and all that, in the Sabha, if you ask, I'm doing experiment with rats and all that, what should I do? Should I continue with my job or give up? He will say, give up. Okay. Because then if you ask him in private, he will ask you questions, what about that and what is happening and all that, right? So, this is how Kardamji is spending time with Bhagavan and he is deciding to also take with Bhagavan's permission. Bhagavan says, you please, see, this is the power of all these ashramas. Chaturth ashrama is so powerful that even Bhagavan is born in one's family, and the Bhagavan in front of him, he is asking that Bhagavan's permission. Pratyaksha Anubhava is happening. The direct experience of the Lord is happening, but he is saying, I want the experience of the Lord in my heart so I can carry my Lord even when this Bhagavan is in front of me or behind me or anywhere. This is what you all want. This is a very good example for that, right? You all want to see Bhagavan's hand in any situation. And that is what Kardama is also seeking. He wants to do that, take up to that study of scriptures and whatnot in a sannyasa ashrama, so he is able to see Bhagavan in everyone. Sarvatma bhava. Sarva atma bhava. That atma is in everybody. That experience he wants. And Bhagavan is blessing him for it. Because Bhagavan is here for a different purpose in this story. And he got the blessings and he is ready for it. You also want that, like for example, if I ask you the question, do you all want to experience Bhagavan as the Vishwarupa? Huh? Why are you laughing? Vishwarupa, everyone is so excited. Yes, why not? The answer is not yes, sir. Why not? This is our. If it is available without me having to do anything, why not? Yes, I would. Satyaraj Bhagavan Katha also, I said in this temple, the first chapter that the Brahmana will do with Shraddha as soon as he was told to Satyaraj Katha, the Brahmana in, what is that place? Kashi. The second chapter, what happens there? Only one chapter later, that king is telling to the sadhu, Ulkamukhi is telling to the sadhu to do the vrata and all that. Sadhu says it's a very good vrata. If I get a child, I'll do. So he wants the phala first. And then he puts vaida for the vrata. He is not doing it until he is getting a lot of difficulties in his life. Bhagavan's way of, showing his presence. What we care is, all difficulties we're not worried about. That Bhagavan is with us, that concern, that is the only concern we want. We want to be able to see Bhagavan in and through all that, right? So this is this second chapter. Third chapter is doing an alaksha of the prasada, or final chapter. Third chapter like that. Puja, they are not finishing and going. Final chapter. It is again Sarvatma Bhava. This what is this? Tribal people are giving the prasada to the Raja. He is doing this tribal people, what they know, puja, punaskara and all that. They're going away. So all this chapter, if you see, it's a degradation of devotion and shraddha as you go through the chapter. So here also, if I ask you Vishwarupa, you will all say yes. You know what Arjuna said? He had the Divya Chakshu. I'm doing the 11th chapter this morning only. I did as a part of my regular online classes. Arjuna says, what is this gory form, Bhagavan? I thought you're Vishnu. Vishnu means, one who is everywhere, one who is embracing everything. But you are now in the form of this fire, engulfing everybody. All the warriors in the battle and all that, I can see them entering your mouth. Some of them are half inside and half outside, hanging. All that is describing in the thing. And you want Bhagavan to embrace you. But if Bhagavan says, I'm coming in the form of the fire, can I come and embrace you? Likewise, Bhagavan is appearing to Arjuna, and Arjuna says, this is not what I expected. All right. So likewise, if you ask you the question, do you want Bhagavan as a Vishwarupa, with all the million heads and all that, or in all those thousands of situations in your life, do you want to see Bhagavan? Either do you want to see the Vishwarupa, or you want to see with Bhagavan with 1,000 forms, or in those thousands of experience in your life, would you like to see Bhagavan, Bhagavan's hand, Bhagavan's presence, Bhagavan's love, compassion, Bhagavan's concern? So answer would be, I want to be able to see that Bhagavan in everything what I experience, right? So that is a devotee. That is your fundamental. Everyone is a devotee fundamentally. Devotee father, devotee mother, devotee son. If you don't give up that devotee, being a devotee, no problem. That role doesn't change. Let us fix that one role. Other roles change. His husband is someone's father, someone's son, and he has got his own children also. I'll ask you a question. Who is first? Father is first or son is first? Who is born first? Father or son? Father is born first. Was he a father before the child was born? Both are born at the same time, in a way, right? What I'm trying to say is, that is all role playing. The role comes and goes. But my role as a devotee to Bhagavan, Narayana, Sri Krishna, Paramashiva, Parameshwari, Jagannatha, never changes. You fix like that. So that is the experience Kardama wants, and is taking permission from Bhagavan to pursue that. And this is our beautiful culture. In other religion, no, forget about religion. In the entire world, everyone is expected to retire in their job. It's expected actually. Otherwise, they will honorably send you off. BRS, voluntary retirement service. They'll clap the hands and say, okay, give Mysore Park and all that in India, and they'll give some small envelope and then they'll send you off. That is a small standard procedure. In America also, you're expected to retire at some point. Otherwise, somebody younger will be able to do all your job and you will be forced to retire, right? You'll be laid off, right? So in the job, it is like that. Only in the Hindu religion, you can also take a break, retire from life. That is the fourth ashrama, sannyas ashrama, where you can go tirthadanam, you can go to other pilgrimage and all that, everything. And if your daughter or son calls you back for babysitting, you can always make yourself available. Okay, but you don't go and impose yourself upon anything, and you also have your own life of devotion, a full-time quality life of devotion. You can always do that. Sanction is there only in our religion. No other religion. If you're a monk in other religion, Swami Pratikvadanji, Swami Puja Swamiji, if you go to his room, he's got a T-shirt called Holy Hobo. In this country, if you're a monk, if you don't have a place to stay and all that, you're called hobo, homeless. That concept of monkhood is not there in any other religion. In our religion, it's there. So that is there for everybody as a final ashrama. Here Kardamaji is taken to that ashrama. Now Bhagavan is what? Bhagavan is the Kapila. He is born now, right? I have to say a few more words about Bhagavan before you conclude this session. So this Kapila Avatara, as I said, if you talk about the philosophy, what Kapila Avatara gave, it runs to several chapters. But he has given a refuge to his father to go to this ashrama, whereas he himself, what he decided to take care of Mother Devahuti, not just taking care of all her needs, but also to give that jnana, the knowledge. You will be all surprised. The first jnani, the first moksha in the entire Bhagavatam. Moksha is defined in the Bhagavatam in several different ways. When I say moksha here, I don't mean that moksha after death. If there is moksha only after death, who would want that moksha now? No one would want that moksha now, right? So we are not talking about the moksha after death. We're talking about the moksha here and now. Devahuti was given that jnana of her swarupa, which goes beyond all the rupas. That jnana, our rupas are all different. Because of the rupa difference and because there is all the upadhi differences there. I have certain knowledge in certain areas, so I'm here sitting and talking, and that knowledge you are trying to absorb and enrich your knowledge. So that difference is there. Otherwise, our swarupa is all same. Just like the waves have different shape, one tall, one short, and all that. But if the wave knows that my rupa is different, my swarupa is water, and as water I am limitless, then it doesn't have to worry about being short wave, long wave, and all that, right? So that is the swarupa we are talking. The swarupa jnana, Kardamji took care of his mother, Kapila Maharishi took care of his mother, and also he gave that knowledge. The uniqueness of that knowledge is knowledge is called Sankhya philosophy, Sankhya Shastra. Sankhya means what? Sankhya, Ganana means every tattva. Every tattva means all. He categorized the entire creation into different categories. Like for example, you can categorize the creation as Akasha, space, Vayu, air, and then there is a fire element in the creation, there's a water element in the creation, and there is a earth element in the creation, and they all have their own properties. Akasha's property is to accommodate everything in space, and then the property of Vayu is to touch. The property of fire, form. There's an extra form there. Property of water, taste. Property of earth, smell. So all this, they have done all this. So you have to categorize the creation. They have categorized this creation. All that started with Sankhya philosophy. So we wove it to the Sankhya philosophers how we are beautifully categorizing the creation and understanding the properties. Only when you categorize, we have to categorize solid in the elemental. In the you all study chemistry. There is a periodic table of elements, right? There's a table of elements, all 108 elements, but they have to be categorized, and we have to look at all the properties. Some of them are solid, some elements are liquid, some elements are only gas. So they likewise for the entire creation. Sankhya, we owe it to the. When we study Vedanta, we talk about Akasha, Vayu, and all those things, right? But we owe it to the Sankhya philosophers. Vedantins are very smart. Wherever there is something good, they will take it. They don't have any conflict with any mata. Sankhya philosophy has got all these categories, very beautifully categorized, ready-made available. Take it. The Tarkikas have a definition for Bhagavan, like Ishvara, Narayana, Bhagavan is Srishtikarta and Karma Phaladata. We'll use that same definition. Vedantis don't come up with a new definition. So we are, whatever is there everywhere, we don't we reinvent the wheel. And then we have our own, then finally we have our philosophy. At the time of Siddhanta, we can argue. But at the very basic stage, all the basic definitions we pick up. And Sankhya philosophy given by Bhagavan as Kapila Rishi has contributed a lot to so many definitions we have for Shastra and scriptures. So and that is what he's doing, and he's releasing Devahuti from all the bandhana, because Devahuti said when she was pleading to Kardama, not just for getting her daughters married only, she said that sannyasa ashrama you are taking for the sake of knowledge, I want for myself. Who's so I was flirting away my time with you. Now I know I without realizing how great of a rishi you are, who's going to give me that knowledge? Your son is going to give you that knowledge. That is what Kardama's pratigna, and that is what has happened here. Devahuti is the first one. First is moksha. Moksha was given to women in the entire Bhagavat. Then only other stories are coming where other Mahatmas are getting moksha, which itself is a very unique thing. And Kardama walking away, Hanuman also was like that. I'll just say this and finish. It's always good to finish with Hanuman, right? Veera Maruti. So what I want to say, Hanuman was also, when Ramchandra Bhagavan took entire Saket Lok with him, to entire Ayodhya with him, all the people to Saket Lok. Rama is not in Vaikunta, by the way. Rama's Loka is not called Vaikunta. It is called Saket Lok. And they claim that Krishna also has his own Loka, called Goloka. Goloka. And Rama took everybody with him, but Hanuman was left. Hanuman said, I'll stay back and I will go everywhere and listen to Ramakatha. Wherever there's Ramakatha, I'll stay there. That is, so Hanuman stayed back, sacrificing even the presence of Ramchandra Bhagavan. Likewise, Kardama also sacrificed Bhagavan, but for a greater purpose. And Bhagavan also accomplished his mission of giving the Sankhya philosophy. So I said, there are different avatars of Bhagavan. This is Jnana avatar. And I'm purposefully doing this avatar because our group is there, where I'm continuing. This is the topic I'm supposed to give this night from 8 to 9. I said I'll give this topic here in the temple, and Saranan was right away saying, please do that, because looking at my convenience also, and it worked out very well. I think I gave other messages also as a part of this topic, because I want to bring more out of this for you. Because it's a continuous topic, I want to make it a special topic for you. I think I did whatever I could. With this, I'll conclude this session with a chanting. We'll do Hanuman's chanting. Veera Maruti, Gambhira Maruti. Veera Maruti, Gambhira Maruti. Duta Maruti, Rama Duta Maruti. Duta Maruti, Rama Duta Maruti. Veera Maruti, Gambhira Maruti. बोलिए श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय, सीताराम की जय. Stop the recording. So we'll give the ashram information. You can come and then you can have prasad also. I want to give this information. Go to Ronak and anyone give maybe one. Ardi Panduga. Our family. Maybe we don't have. That's good. And then, yeah. This one. Dilip, you can stop their YouTube broadcast also at this point, I think. Deepak, yeah. Dilapot. Here. Yeah. Yeah, while it's getting ready, you can take this one book. So you'll also have no delay for the prasad. You can give this one here, for one for family. Very good. Is this good? Post on this one. Please take. Okay. let her finish her prayers. Please. Yeah. You can take our ashram brochure also. Go and give it to her. How are you? I'm good. No, please. Yeah. I have to go. Please have this. Varadan. Vardhan. Vardhano Vardhan. Make the Shruti.
His ability to correct us சொல்றதுக்கு நான் வரதன் இல்ல that's awesome.
You know Ronak?
Oh really? Yeah. Where in Winston? Like not that. If you give me an exit number. I think it's 190.